9 points. That's all that separates Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris in the 2025 World Drivers' Championship. 9 points between two drivers wearing the same colours, standing in the same garage, speaking to the same engineers, and fighting for the same crown. It's the kind of scenario teams dream about when they hire talent like this. Two top-tier drivers capable of beating the best in the world. But in Formula One, dreams like that can turn to nightmares in the blink of an eye. What started as a season of mutual respect, shared smiles on podiums, and even the occasional cheeky social media post has shifted into something different, something sharper, something personal. And after Budapest, there's no hiding it anymore. This isn't just a fight for points, it's a fight for pride, for trust, and maybe even for who gets to shape McLaren's future. When the 2025 season began, few could have predicted just how close McLaren would be to mounting a full-blown championship challenge. Oscar Piastri entered his sophomore season with a quiet determination. No wild headlines, no dramatic statements, just a methodical approach that turned heads in his rookie year. The Australian style has been described as knife through silk, precise, calculated, and rarely wasteful. Lando Norris, by contrast, came in riding the momentum of years of near misses and fan adoration. He's McLaren's prodigal son, the driver whose connection to the team runs deep and whose on-track aggression can turn a race upside down in a single lap. From the opening rounds, it became clear these two weren't just going to score points. They were going to push McLaren into a place the team hasn't been since the days of Lewis Hamilton and Jenson Button, fighting for wins, podiums, and serious championship relevance. By Monaco, Norris had snatched a spectacular victory, threading his way through chaos with the kind of opportunism that wins fans and frustrates rivals. Piastri, meanwhile, kept racking up consistent top three finishes, staying in striking distance without the fanfare, but with deadly efficiency. Every race, the points gap between them shifted, sometimes by a handful, sometimes by double digits. But as the season approached the halfway mark, the difference wasn't enough for either driver to relax. 9 points, close enough to flip in a single race. And that's where the tension began to simmer. Because when you're that close, every decision, every pit call, every upgrade, every qualifying strategy feels like it could decide the championship. Hungary was supposed to be another strong weekend for McLaren. The track suited their car, and both drivers were in form. Qualifying was razor tight, Norris edging Piastri by less than a tenth of a second. On Sunday, the two launched cleanly and began pulling away from the rest of the field. It was a McLaren 1-2 in the making. Then came the critical moment. The team decided to split strategies. Norris would get the fresher tyres later in the race. Piastri would hold track position and try to manage pace. It was a gamble, one that would either deliver maximum points for the team or tilt the race decisively in one driver's favour. When Norris emerged from his final stop, the grip advantage was obvious. Lap by lap, the gap closed. And with just a few laps to go, Norris took the lead. Piastri crossed the line in second. On paper, a brilliant result for McLaren. Maximum points in the constructors' fight. But the radio told a different story. Piastri's voice was calm, almost too calm.
Man, it's difficult to know with this many laps to go. Yeah, understood.
Yeah, understood. No argument, no public outburst. Just a tone that carried weight. On the podium, the smiles were polite. Handshakes were quick. In the interviews, both stuck to the script. But the energy was different. The kind of difference you feel when you've been in the paddock long enough to know that everything's fine means everything isn't. Budapest didn't just hand Norris a win, it cracked open the door to mistrust. If you've followed Formula One for any length of time, you've seen this story before. The biggest threat to a driver's championship hopes isn't always in another team's car. It's sitting 10 feet away in the same garage. For the engineers, it's a nightmare. How do you keep two title contenders happy when they both believe the other is getting an edge? For management, it's a balancing act. Sponsors want harmony, but they also want headlines. Fans want their favourite to win, and the media, they thrive on slow burn rivalries that explode into controversy. McLaren knows the stakes. They've been here before. Think back to the Senna versus Prost era in the late 80s, when the team had the two best drivers in the world and the relationship soured so badly it nearly tore the garage in half. Or more recently, Mercedes with Rosberg and Hamilton. 3 years of escalating tension that ended with a title for one and a retirement for the other. Intra-team rivalries push performance to incredible heights, but they also push relationships to the breaking point. And McLaren is walking that tightrope right now. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris couldn't be more different in how they approach a race. Piastri is the chess master. He builds his races in layers, thinks 5 moves ahead, and is willing to bide his time if it means striking when it matters most. His smooth driving style minimizes tire wear and maximizes consistency, a deadly combination over a long season. Norris, meanwhile, thrives on instinct. He's aggressive in wheel-to-wheel battles, takes overtaking opportunities others wouldn't dare, and can change the shape of a race with a bold move. That aggression wins races, but it can also create flashpoints, especially when split-second calls from the pit wall seem to favour one driver over another. These differences aren't a problem when one driver is clearly ahead in the standings, but when it's 9 points, every strategic choice feels personal. Every radio call is analysed for hidden meaning, and whether they admit it or not, both know this. Their teammate is the one driver they absolutely have to beat. Zak Brown insists both drivers will get equal treatment. It's the only public stance a team can take in this situation. But equal on paper isn't always equal in practice. Who gets first call on pit stops when undercut potential is high? Who gets the newer upgrade when there's only one available? Who gets the slipstream in qualifying? McLaren can promise balance, but history shows that if one driver starts pulling ahead with just a few races to go, the team may have to pick a side. And that decision could define not just the championship, but the next decade of McLaren's driver lineup. The next 5 races will be critical: Spa, Zandvoort, Monza, Singapore, Suzuka. Spa and Monza could favour Norris's high-speed aggression. Singapore, with its relentless corners, might lean toward Piastri's smooth precision. One mechanical failure, one poorly timed safety car, or one strategic misstep could flip the 9-point gap overnight. And as the title fight tightens, every decision from the pit wall will be under a microscope. 2 heroes, 1 garage, 9 points. For McLaren, this is both the dream and the danger of having 2 elite drivers. They push each other to the absolute limit, but that limit comes with risks. This season will be remembered not just for who lifts the trophy, but for how McLaren navigated the battle within its own walls. So, should McLaren let them fight it out to the last lap in Abu Dhabi, or step in before the rivalry costs them everything?